Oh, yes, I can. Good morning
Brilliant.
to
Good
you.
morning. Sorry, I
That,
just had a bit of trouble connecting this morning, but I'm here now.
no, that's wonderful. Wonderful. So, well, KK in the background, I can't see or hear you, so I hope we answer everything that you would like to know. Anyway, so let's just get started. There's just the two of us plus KK in the background. I always so disappointing. 40 people said, "Oh yes, I'm going to come," and then they don't.
Mm.
Anyway, so be it. So, to introduce myself, I am Millie and I head up the Leap with my gorgeous team in Marlborough in Wiltshire. And I really spearhead the Midlife Leap, which we've started in the last few years. Well, we tried it before COVID, and then everything got ruined, and we relaunched it a couple of years ago, which I'm assuming correctly, is that what you're here to hear about today, or gap years, or a bit of both?
Probably a bit of both, actually. I've got a 17-year-old who is keen to take a year out. So I sort of was looking at the stuff that you offer, and that all sounds amazing. So I'd be keen to find out a bit more about that, maybe.
Okay, lovely. And Karen, what's your main what would you like to hear more about?
Yeah, midlife bit. My well, actually, my oldest son is in Australia at the moment, but yeah, mainly just for me.
Oh, good.
And
Good.
I'm keen to find out as well, because I think it's such a really good idea.
Oh
Yeah,
God. Oh, you're making my Friday morning. Thank
yeah,
you. Because it's one of those weird things. You know when you think I think it's a brilliant idea and my team, and I take probably two teams away a year. And I've just returned from a 2 week trip to Colombia. Honestly, it was amazing. And when you go on a midlife leap, you really get it. But it's so hard to kind of, it's not a retreat. It's not a climbing Everest. It's none of those things. It's so unique that people are just like, oh, I can't really get my head around it. But it
But it
is a
feels like
journey.
a discovery of and a excuse to actually put yourself first for a change.
It so is. It so is. And what everybody, because I always kind of grill people at the end. It's just like, what, why? And the key messages that people feel really inspired and excited and just love, and weirdly, it always turns out to be groups of women, this kind of tight sisterhood. There's no husbands, there's no other halves to look after. And people always say what they find as a mother or as an elderly female, as we all, middle-aged female, is that they don't have to make a decision. So as soon as you get to Heathrow, you actually switch off. And and switch off one does. So much so that I had to keep telling the team to switch back on when they were asking me throughout the journey, just like, what am I going to wear tonight? I was like, you really, you can make that decision yourself. No, I've really just, oh, we go, does it need to be smart, casual? I was like, oh my God, everyone has really kicked back. But we do five different destinations for midlife, and each one is completely different. So you've got Peru, which is the grittiest. I've done that twice and I love it. I love it because I love the mountains. I loved the physical challenge of it and this sense of achievement and getting to Machu Picchu via a really kind of off-grid way. But then you go to somewhere like Colombia and it's a road trip. It's just like, right, here we go. Okay, every 4 days, every 2 days, every night. Oh, we're somewhere different. Okay, pack that bag. Off we go again. What are we doing today? The jungle. Okay. And it's got real pace, vigor. It's just, they're just extraordinary. But the backbone behind each one is we are not your normal travel company. So we don't work with ground operators like a normal travel company does. Our partners are NGOs, family, friends, people that live there. So it's they kind of live and breathe it, and through them we go off grid. Like in Colombia, in the first 4 days, we're in a place called Barachara. Nobody goes to Barachara. And I'm so pleased they don't. And I hope they don't. They don't because it's so hard to get to. But when you're there, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so stylish. It's got a real international collection of people that go there for 6 months of the year. The food is to die for. And we ended up in this weird place in the middle of the nowhere. It's kind of a friend of Josie and Brendan's. It's just like, right, okay, well, kind of however many dollars they're going to cook us. He was an architect, she's a famous cook, and you go to their house and they cook you this kind of 4-course tasting menu, and it's just like, okay, cool, amazing house. And so it's experiences like that, getting involved in reforestation projects, getting involved in this community project where we made this. Look at that, I made that. And so it's all community based. The projects are all, you just meet extraordinary people that are doing their bit for their community. So it's that real feeling of community, connection, friendship, a privilege, really. That's why I love it. So any questions? I'm actually rambling. I'm going to stop rambling.
Can you sort of tell me what the basis is, and where it came from, and
The history?
Yeah.
Well, I oh, how much history? My husband and I started the Leap, I would say about 20 years ago, but we've always been in volunteer personal development travel, which instills personal development. And predominantly, we started working for a company that did school expeditions and so youth travel. And then just before COVID, and then we set up our own, the Leap, and it specialized in gap years, and off we went. And then just before COVID, I was invited to, we were setting up a new program in Namibia. So I said to our friends there that run the conservation, the whole new project, I said, oh, I'm going to come and visit. She said, yeah, of course, come and visit. Why don't you bring some friends? So I thought, okay, I'll bring some friends. So there was 8 of us that went, and we went there for 10 days. We did some volunteering. We lived in these amazing tents in the middle of nowhere. We went whitewater rafting, and we all looked at each other and thought, this is awesome. And that was it. That is how the Midlife Leap began. And since then, I've taken groups to Costa Rica, Madagascar. That was before COVID. And, we'd really, started the energy. It was going and going. And then you can imagine. And then we just had to concentrate on survival and getting the gappers out there, which we could, straight after COVID. And the midlifers that we've started the year before last, about, well, let's say 2 years ago now, doing a soft launch, getting it back up and running. So I've been busy going around all the countries with teams of people, and we're ready. We're building a whole new website. That's another story. That's about to kill me. To really push it forward. And I think every midlifer that comes repeats. So the group of they become part of the family, become part of the I don't know what we call it, community. But the Colombia lot that I've just taken, every single one of them was a past midlifer. And going to Colombia, that I took to Colombia, and Colombia in September, again, all past midlifers. Going to Kenya, we've got 4 past midlifers all signed up. So people just get into this groove. So I know it works. I know it's a winning formula. And well, the aim of these kind of Friday chats is just to get the word out there and persuade more people that actually it's good for us. It's good for us.
Yeah.
It's good for
It sounds good for us.
Huh?
I said it sounds good for us. I think women especially, we try to sort of balance so many different things, don't we? And then actually finding something for ourselves which is not only, as you say, a holiday or a retreat, but actually taps into a lot of our own sort of needs in terms of skills or pushing ourselves into things that we might not normally do. I think that's all a really positive, and I think the idea that it sort of sits as a sort of trip feels quite reassuring in a way, because you feel like you could do it.
You can do it. And people always say to me, can I really, especially with Peru, can I really do it? And I'm like, yeah, but you've got to get fit. And so the group I took before Christmas, they were a lot of school friends. That was fabulous. Just that in itself, that kind of reunion aspect. But people took it really seriously and had life changes because they had to get fit. They had their knees sorted, they were in the gym. It was all hanging over my friend, one of our friends that had recovered from cancer. And it was just like, you're doing this whether you like it or not. So keep taking those pills. You've survived, and now we're going up the mountain. So stop wallowing, get into that gym and get strong, because you're going to need it. So that was really wonderful. And then for my personal thing, I hate the jungle. I had a terrible experience when I was in my mid-20s in the jungle. I got lost in the jungle for about 2 days. Literally thought I was going to die. Everyone says I'm very melodramatic about it, but I promise you, I nearly died. Well, I got to a point where I wish I was going to die because it was so hideous. So for me, going to Colombia, and we had 2 days in the jungle, it was like, oh my God, I hate it. I really hate it. But because I had the camaraderie of a team around me, it was like, okay, all right, I'm going to set in, and I felt really proud of myself for getting over what was, it in the end, a really rather silly fear. I was just like, oh, wasn't that bad at all. I've had this hanging over me for years that the jungle isn't my friend, but actually it is my friend, and it's an extraordinary environment to explore and to experience. So yeah, that was really nice. That was really nice. So when you look at the midlife trips, which one catches your eye?
Well, I only just saw the Colombia one, because it's the way I found you was on Instagram, actually, and it just looked, well, colourful and exciting, and
You like salsa?
just like that idea of going sort of deep, as you say. It's not a tourist trip. It's an immersive experience, isn't it? So I think that sounded exciting. But I think all of the destinations have their own merits, I'm sure.
They do. Now that Colombia one, Bernadette, get your skates on. Just because can you go this September?
I can't go this September, unfortunately.
October,
but it was one of those things. I sort of came across it. I thought, okay, I actually can't do it this year, but I thought I'll find out. And then, of course, it led to me finding out that you also do gap year stuff, when my son's he's sort of chomping at the bit. And we're at that point where I was thinking, I need to find out a bit more about that. So it's sort of perfect timing in a way anyway. So it's not a lost, I feel, a good connection.
Well, the Colombia one for the kids, I think, is really special because well, I love South America,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to gap years. Karen, you're just going to have to just listen
So,
to.
Karen,
I'm
Sorry,
happy.
Karen. When it,
No,
these kids, they either, they finish school and they're so influenced by what their peers have done and what their peers before have done, and their kind of Snapchats. And I'm like, oh my God, please God, don't go to Asia. Just don't go to Asia. You could do that on a 2-week summer holiday when you're our age. It's lost. And all they do is just go from bar to bar, beach to beach, drinking their way around. And so I love, for a gap year experience, which really invigorates them and has got the challenge, is Central South America and Africa. It's because it's got contrast. It's not about drinking, it's not about beaches, it's about experiences. So I would definitely, and I'm very happy to talk to him, independently, just to
yeah.
say, get out of Asia and focus on Central South.
What his thing is that he is pretty much fluent in Spanish. He's been learning Spanish since he was about 6, and he suddenly saw Race Across the World about 2 years ago and went, "Oh my God, they're in South America!" And actually, I can speak Spanish, and it was like a light bulb moment. So he's keen to use some of his gap year to sort of explore the use of language and South America. So that's why I suddenly thought, oh, that could be a really good fit.
South America is fantastic. So both my boys went to Central and South America, and you need Spanish, because it's not like going to Asia where everyone just kind of
Yeah.
into kind of pidgin English. You need it. But there's just so much variety. For example, in Peru,
Yeah.
a month in Peru, you would experience the Andes, the Amazon, the salt flats, Lake Titicaca, surfing beaches. I mean, it's just like, that's amazing, just in itself.
Oh, to be 18 again, hey?
I know.
yeah.
And then you go down into Bolivia and you do the salt flats there, and it's just like, it's adventure after adventure. Whereas if you went to kind of Thailand, it's just like you go to Koh Samui, go to Koh Phangan, and all you're doing is kind of drinking, taking mushrooms, and it's just like, please don't do it. So Central South America, especially South America, is just awesome, because South America, you've got amazing architecture, which is just, it just makes you feel, architecture is awesome, food, but it also works. The roads, the trains, the buses, the infrastructure, Wi-Fi, it's just super slick.
And what's the option if you're obviously you run a month program and they want to stay on? Is that something that you can that works in terms of the way that you organise things in terms of travel? That if they would be with you for a month and then they would go on and do their own thing. Is that something that people do?
Yes. So if we've done our job properly, people join our program. Say, for example, in January, everybody goes to Costa Rica or Colombia.
Yeah.
So if you started in Colombia, we would give you that Colombian experience, which is one of the countries I wouldn't recommend anybody travels in independently.
Yeah.
Because where we go is super safe.
Yeah.
Marichara, you can leave your camera on the table and Josie's friend is going to pick it up and bring it back in the evening.
Yeah.
When you get to the coast, to places like Cartagena, there's a bad vibe.
Yeah.
Even us midlifers, I saw it firsthand. We were there for 2 nights, and that was enough. It was just like, there's a vibe here, isn't there? It was just like, yep, people are out to get you. So Colombia is one of those countries where, anyway, we if we've done our job properly, they do Colombia, they finish at Cartagena, and then I would say 3/4 of our gap leapers travel on afterwards with the friends they've made within the group.
Yeah.
So
which is what you'd want them to do as well, wouldn't it? That they've made they've had a common experience, and then
and it sounds really corny, but they really are friends for life. I mean, we've had Leap weddings. We've had Leap.
that's impressive.
I know. So that's if we've done our, and
Yeah.
3/4 would go on. And like, for example, there's a Costa Rica team that finished last night. So this week I was helping them plan. There was 8 of them out of the 22 that wanted to go on to Guatemala. So I sent them the itineraries, a fact sheet of do's and don'ts, so they could do it themselves. But when I keep saying we've done our job properly, if we've done our job properly, which our goal is that by the time they finish with us, they are savvy travelers and they know what to do and what not to do, so they're not green around the gills. And we want them to add on that phase of independence because it's a different set of challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as you say, it's about that being travel savvy. It feels like they are, well, just from what I've read in terms of, I was just looking at some of your information on the website, that because the experiences are varied within what you're offering, I think that's what I find appealing about it.
Yeah. The two, A, getting them travel savvy, and B, giving them experiences which they can't access as a backpacker.
Yeah.
So they feel that they feel kind of slightly, oh my God, my gap year experience was not just hostel hopping. It was richer than that.
Yeah.
They only really get that when they get back home and they're discussing with their peers, and their peers are going, oh God, we did X, Y, and Z, and they're going, oh, but we did ABC.
Yeah.
They kind of elevate themselves.
And so the ones that sort of feature in main, with the Spanish element, which countries again are those? They're Colombia,
Peru, and Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, fantastic. Because I've already got a link in Costa Rica in terms of one of my friends actually lives there. So, and she was saying, well, maybe it would be good if they were going on to doing some traveling, because she works in the wellness industry there, about whether, just to come with a bit more of a focus. So that would be quite good if you're also there. But the Peru and Colombia ones sound really interesting.
Peru is
the
grittier one.
Yeah.
Colombia is my favorite, but then the most popular one of all is and has been for years, and is the Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But that was the one that when you were talking about Costa Rica, I was thinking, oh yeah, it's somewhere I'd quite like to go.
I know. I don't understand. What is it about Costa Rica that I mean, it is a great country. It is beautiful. It's environmentally rich. So from an environmental point of view, it's got great contrast and yeah, it's fantastic. But I don't know. I don't know.
Agree.
So is that the one that caught your imagination? The Costa Rica?
Yeah, I've got to put my hands up now, so I haven't done a lot of background reading.
Oh, that's
so,
all right.
So, yeah.
Well,
just the volunteering thing, and that's what got me interested, and also being a single track.
Yeah, well, the volunteering. So, hi, Jules. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I joined late in the game. I've just finished work.
Oh,
I was going to bed, and then I saw your Zoom thing. I was like, oh, I'll hop onto that.
Oh, well, nice. Thank you for joining. We within the five trips that we do for midlife, some of them are, like Peru is amazing for the challenge of getting to Machu Picchu. Costa Rica and Colombia are road trips, so you're kind of every kind of 4 days, so you really experience the different environmental areas, your jungle and the mountains, and whereas Kenya and Sri Lanka, they are they are best for the volunteering. Everyone has a kind of slight a volunteering background to it, but actually for that feeling of making a difference and contributing for more than a day or more than 2 days is best to go to Kenya and Sri Lanka.
Right.
Because the you know, the people that run the whole program, they're involved in volunteering the whole time, but because it's such a busy schedule, it's just weaved in. Whereas Kenya, you go, you work with Oceans Alive, you've got 4 or 5 days of volunteering. It's amazing. You're, you know, in the ocean, then you're building the Gico stoves, and it's really hands-on every day. As with the Sri Lanka, hands-on every day for 4 days. And I know that doesn't sound much, but the 4 days, you know, what can you do in 4 days? Actually, you can do quite a lot. And it's, the volunteering is just one part of the experience. If one wanted to only volunteer, then I would recommend, you know, looking at other companies such as, well, the pure volunteering companies. But that's not what we do. It's all, you know, part of
experience.
There you go. Thank you, Jules.
That's what I like, the gritty Peru one. That sounds fun to me.
Well, it is a gritty one, that is for sure. I've done it twice now, Jules. You know, and my university friends say, "Oh, will you come back this year?" It's like, no, too soon. My knees can't cope. No, I'm going for a lighter version. But you know, Peru is an amazing country. I know this sounds really kind of silly, but those mountains, those Andean mountains, are getting up to 4,500 feet is a spiritual moment. I mean, it really does take your breath away. The kind of vistas. I know people think, oh God, she's entirely mad, but you know, to get to Machu Picchu itself. Machu Picchu is like the full stop. Yeah, it's a da-na moment, but that is not the highlight. The highlight is the 4 days getting there, where you go up, over, around, across valleys, over peaks, you know, the challenge. That is the wow moment.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine. Do you often come along on the trips?
I do. I go on the first one of every trip, of every new one. But Peru, I don't need to do that. Colombia, I don't need to do any of them. Actually, I do need to do Kenya, but no. But our teams on the ground are awesome, and I'm not needed.
I would probably need to come back on your next Zoom to get the full chit. Sorry about the dog. To get the full chit chat. To be honest, but I'm definitely interested. I don't know if I've caught the tail end of your chat or...
No. If you're happy, I can tell you more about Peru if Bernadette and Karen want to.
Yeah, I need to have a proper look at all of your the itineraries, to be honest.
Okay. Well, listen, Jules, have a look at the website and then just give us a call in the office.
I mean, just from the vibe of chatting to you right now and just seeing the other girlies, it seems like right up my street. So that's what I want. I want to have an experience. I don't want to be sitting near a pool, although it would be nice, near a pool 24/7 putting sun cream on. I want to be in there. And
we give you that.
Good. Yeah,
we definitely give you that. And that, as I was saying to Karen and Bernadette in the beginning, you know, these are new experiences. There's nothing like this out in the market. There really isn't. Yes, you could go to Exodus. Yes, you could go and all that, but they are Pacific. Well, there's 2 things that irritate me. One is that you could go on an Exodus trip and then you can be with people who are 20, you could be with people 20, 30, 40, 50s. what I love about our trips are that they are age specific. So we are all the same age. So we've got common ground right from the moment that we hit it off to get together at Heathrow Airport. And my God, do we share? Perhaps overshare.
May I ask, do you, when you, if you sign up for a trip, do you then have like a little WhatsApp group prior to that to chat with each other or to find out a little bit about each other, or not? Is that not the thing?
No, that's definitely, that always happens.
All right.
So we get everybody to sign up. When we've hit minimum numbers, then we gather everybody. We do a Zoom call. We introduce everybody.
All right, that's brilliant.
We set up the WhatsApp. Everyone starts chatting, and then the WhatsApp group never ends.
It just grows and chats, and people like share ideas. That's brilliant. That's good.
Yes, and then I get cross with everybody when they ask me the same question 100 times, and then I say, "Could you just read the question was asked, yesterday?" Just,
And is that the same with the gap year team
Yeah.
as well? That you do a sort of pre
exactly
sort of meet, etc. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So it's very the kind of fabric of the Leap, the kind of culture of the Leap is it's very family orientated. It's very it's not. We are commercial, of course. We're a commercial company, but that's not the vibe that we're after. The vibe that we're after is it's kind of easy, family friendly. You get to meet Zoe, Kerry. You get to meet everybody, the overseas guides. It's really
Fun.
friendly, really, and everybody takes that vibe with them right from the moment they kind of meet and then get stuck in, and it's fun. It's good fun. I come back from these midlife trips fulfilled, feeling good about myself, just having had a giggle, really.
Is it only ladies who go on, or is it also men and couples?
Weirdly, but actually, I haven't been brave yet. I haven't been brave to say these are women-only trips, but they are only women trips.
Good. That's good.
And when the odd man joins, I think, well, I don't think it's for you. It's one of you just like, I will do a man's trip, but not just could you go away? So they have become women's only trips, but I'm too much of a chicken to kind of slap it on the website saying women only sisterhood community. That's it.
Oh, that's good. I like the vibe anyway, but it's good. That's the way I thought it was going to be. Because
yes, and that's the way it is. But one day I will put my good
broach for someone
and say, no, men, you're not coming because we're discussing you. We're discussing you for 2 weeks.
Oh dear. Oh, fab. I mean, I'm so glad I hopped on board this morning. It made you know what's like, life gets in the way and you think, oh, I'll just do this and I'll do that and I've got to do this and work and blah blah blah. But I need to just sort something out.
Well, and it's not easy. I am the same. It's stepping out and making...
work, children, dogs, housework.
I know, and I totally get it. I am the worst. I am a chief procrastinator. So I totally get where all my customers come from, and I'm always amazed that my customers actually arrive at Heathrow Airport. And it's just like, oh yeah, we finally did it. Everyone's like, yeah, it nearly killed me to get here, and God only knows if the dog is going to survive for 2 weeks. But it is what it is, and off we trot. Off we trot on our aeroplane to another world, and we are really taken out of ourselves and immersed into a new world. And contacting home is just like, do I have to do that because I'm really present and I really don't want to answer WhatsApps and Wi-Fi, and just like, no, you're all on hold. I'm immersed in my new life.
God, you are very good. I have to say that you're good. No wonder it's enjoyable talking to you. You get the vibe. I get the vibe.
Oh well, that's good. This is the vibe. This is the vibe, and we do. And I know this sounds like I'm blowing hot air out of my patting myself on the back, but I'm going to. But once you are a midlifer, you become a repeat midlifer. So I've got midlifers that I've done 3. So we've just come back from Colombia now, and they're saying, well, where are we going next year? And I'm like, holy shit, I don't know. I've got to find a new place. Oh, to justify to the rest of the team while I'm taking another 2 weeks out. So, it's that, and for that, I'm really proud of. And the guys on the ground overseas. I mean, Josie, who leads, the Colombia one, she's just barking mad in her gold bikini, but she's awesome. She took us to these salsa clubs, and we're just like, Josie, don't you know I'm very, very uptight. I don't actually know how to salsa and let go. And she have a mojito and just give it a go. Try and swing your hips. I'm like, too uptight. 3 mojitos later, got a little bit of a shimmy. But so
That's good.
That's how we roll.
Well, that sounds like a good plan. I like that. I love it already.
What is that, Lily? Is it like a wallet or I can't see.
I'm a little confused myself. So in Colombia, we support, well, in Colombia and Barichara, where we are for the first 4 or 5 days, it's a real community. It's a town back or beyond, but there are so many incredible people that, well, this company is you have to look at it on your if you go onto Instagram. I've got an interview with her. She never stops talking, but she's a very dynamic lady. So she's given up her home. I mean, who does that? She's half Colombian, half European, I think French. I know Spanish, because she's fluent in Spanish. Given up her home to this community project. Okay. And you're just like, really? Yep. She's built a little house, further down the road. And her main goal in life is to teach local women skills so that they can do more than just accept that they're going to be a cleaner. Okay, that's her main goal. So she has set up this little leather factory and teach them to make all these bags. This is a little wallet that we made. I'm assuming we put our phone in there and our card in there, assuming, but it's way too natty for me. But we made it with the local women, and they had a disaster. Their factory, their little kind of oh, dog, be quiet. I'm just going to let the dog out. Wait there. She'll never stop barking.
Go for it. Go for it.
Hold on.
So, Jules, you said you've just finished work. Have you been working all night or something?
Yeah, I'm a midwife.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, well, it's bloody hard work, to be honest.
I was going to say.
That's why I love.
Hats off to you. It's all-encompassing career, isn't it?
That's very, very true. But I'm coming towards the end of it now, so I'm going to let the youngsters do it now.
What's your career, Jules?
I'm a midwife.
Oh, you are good.
You see, but you've got your fan club already. We're like, wow, you're a midwife.
Yeah. Midwife.
No, I'm a madwife, and I'm too old now. I think really, it's the youngsters. I'm going to hand it over to that lot, the youngsters.
So have you been up all night delivering small children?
That's
Well, that's so industrious. I've been like sleeping, enjoying my,
I know. So how many did you deliver last night?
Oh,
Little girl, little boy.
It was a little boy.
Oh, and all healthy?
All fabulous, all good. Yeah, I know. It's a scary job actually sometimes, because you never know. I mean, if you've got children, it's something I never take for granted. That's all going to be
absolutely
fabulous, because life is a funny old thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Amazing. Yeah. You've got a gorgeous dog too. Look at that.
Yes, look at her.
She's actually in season at the moment, so she's like, my other dogs are like, God, yeah. I've had to lock them out in the garden because they're going crazy.
Yeah, well, like chasing the postman.
I know, I'm so sorry. Anyway, sorry, did you let your dogs out? So good.
I've let her out. So what was I saying? So this mad lady in Colombia. So when we were there, we were with half the group were bought a roof in they're going to create on this plot a new workshop because their workshop got washed away in the floods and they lost so much. So anyway, so they brought the roof in, and then the Gap kids that are there now are going to build the new workshop. But so half the group were bringing in the roof, and half the group were making something with the ladies. That was mine. Strong and bold, they said to me. I don't know what's to do with it. Jules,
I think it sounds like the partners that you work with are really sort of I mean, what they're offering, well, what you offer is the chance to get really involved and actually do things that you might not do normally, be it physical, you know, creative or whatever. So I think that's, for me, that's sort of what's sort of unique about what you're doing.
It really is. I mean, just meeting this, people just say, well, what good was that? It's just like, well, the good of making this bag is that I spent all day sitting around with the local ladies who are in from the fields. They've lost everything. You know, we're just sharing and caring and making them feel good about themselves. Yes, we're buying a bag at the end of the day. And yes, you know, we bought their roof in to make their workshop, and then the kids are going to build it. So it's sustainable, but for us, one of the take-home messages for me is that, my God, there's some amazing people in this world. I mean, there are some amazing people that, like Jules that we've just met, you know, who's a midwife. You know, I just sit around and fiddle about with websites and, you know, but people are really good, making a difference to people's lives.
Well, you know, the fact that she's given up her house is quite extraordinary.
Given up a house?
Yeah, no, amazing.
So I find that humbling, like, just like,
yeah.
God, I want to do better. I could do better.
Yeah. Does make you think that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Billy, how many trips do you do a year, and how many have you got things running simultaneously?
Yes. So we have Gap trips all the time.
Okay.
So we only run in about 5 countries because it's quality over quantity. I'm not that type of person that's, oh, you can do this, that. We specialize in teams because I love team travel. Team travel in 5 or maybe 6 countries, and Gap running all the year. Yeah,
Okay.
every month you've got different countries depending on the season running. Midlife, we have about 4 to 5 a year. And it's first come, first served. It's literally, and if people book on, like 2 old midlifers booked on to Colombia with me this trip, but one of them, and they were great friends, and then one of them got cancer, couldn't come. It's just like, okay, that's no biggie. You've only paid a deposit. That is non-refundable, but it's completely slidable. So they're going next year. So it's you know.
Yeah. I mean,
do you have an age limit?
You're incredibly, what I love is you're incredibly open and easy to talk to. And I think when you're feeling sort of like, oh, could I do this? That sort of approach is quite empowering, I think, for people who are interested. And that just comes across. So, you know, that's really nice.
Oh, thanks, Bernadette. Oh.
No, but it's true, because I think a lot of these sort of travel things, you sometimes feel a little bit like, God, am I going to be okay? Or is it all right to show that you've got questions, or you've just become a number? It feels like it's a very personal service is the wrong word, but you know what I mean, sort of approach. Yeah,
really is. We're not Audley Travel. We are not G Adventures. We are not those big beasts. At times I wish I was, and I could,
Yeah, of course. Some of the benefits would be good. wouldn't they?
yeah, that would be really nice. But that's not what we are, and that's not what I want to become.
Yeah.
And yeah, I promise you, the kind of the WhatsApp groups, I've seen every question. When people ask me, can I take a hairdryer to Peru? And the answer is no, you can't. Can't take a Peru. And this time in Colombia, they all got a right bollocking from me because I bought way too much luggage. And the minibus nearly broke down because of all their bags. And I was like, right, the next time you're coming, I'm limiting you to a small bag and literally telling you how many pairs of pants you can pack, because everyone got completely carried away and bought all these fancy dresses. I'm like, we don't need fancy dresses. You just don't need all that clobber. So
Sounds good to me.
yeah. So Sharon, you were going to ask about the age limit.
Yes, being an older person.
Well, okay, my message to you is, on my midlifer that I've just returned from in Colombia, I had two 70-year-olds, and
Okay.
they were awesome. And you know, if it's you gotta pick your journey. If you've
Yeah.
got really bad knees and you hate walking, then you wouldn't go to Peru. But
No.
you know, you got
Yeah.
it. But these 70-year-olds came with me to Peru 2 years ago, and they were amazing. They were fitter than me. He was right at the back. But so it's attitude
Yeah. Yeah.
And good knees.
Good knees.
and good knees.
Yeah.
But this lot, just, we had this kind of jungle day, and we do 4 hours of hiking through the jungle, finding all the monkeys. Then we get to this beach, then we had a kind of picnic lunch there, and then we were told, right, put your shoes back on. We've got to walk an extra 2 hours, and we were just like, you know, even me and my heart sank. Oh, really? Oh. Anyway, when we got to the entrance, there were all these horses. And we were just like, why can't we get on a horse? And so the guide, Santi and Gabriel, well, you can get on a horse. So I was like, okay, who can ride? And then stuck their hands up. It was like, right, Santi, right, we're going to get these horses. And then 3 of the ladies didn't want to do the horses, and they were the 70-year-olds. They walked out, whereas I was on giddy up, giddy up, get me out the jungle. So, you know, that was really fun. That was actually the fun. It was absolute carnage. How we didn't have an accident. I was kind of playing the game. What would happen if my horse slipped and I went straight down that ravine? I haven't got a helmet on. I'm supposed to be responsible, and we've just taken this enormous risk, and I think I could be in trouble.
But fingers crossed, you did it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But that was, you know, it's just like you get kind of in the moment.
Well, I was going to say that's adventure, isn't it? It's that thing of,
Yeah.
hey, you know, right, we're here, and it seemed like the right
It's
thing
a good
to do.
idea.
Let's get on the horse.
Get on the horse. And then Santi, the guide, galloped past us because all our horses were scattergunning around in the jungle. It was a complete carnage. And Santi, our very handsome guide, literally galloped past us, and we were all like, oh. It was a pathetic moment. It was our Darcy moment. It was just like, come back. Anyway,
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
So sorry to interrupt. I'm going to have to go on to bed.
Go to bed, Jules. Goodbye. Good night.
So I will touch base with you. How will we leave this? Do we get in contact with you, or do we just visit the website, or do I leave a message?
I can email you. I will email you direct after this thing, so you've got my personal email.
Brilliant. Good. I'll take it from there.
Squirrel it away, and then get back in touch when you got the urge and you think, right, come on, make me do it.
Good. Well, lovely to meet you, and lovely to meet the girlies. One day soon, maybe I might meet the other 2 ladies.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I hope so.
But
Sleep tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
then I go bless.
Bye. Bye.
All right. I need to get a shift on now. To bed.
Oh, Jules, off she goes to bed. No, Jules is still there.
All right, how do I do?
She's gone. So any other questions? There's nothing really else to say.
No,
I need to look at your website.
yeah,
Look at the
website, but also if you wouldn't mind sending me your email, because I think I would like to just follow up, maybe get Arlo, my son, to speak to you. He's very keen, so I think it would be great, and the whole sort of, because we were keen that he has an opportunity to utilize the language aspect as well, so that sounds really promising.
Really promising. Well, and he could go anywhere. Peru.
Yeah.
He will get so much more out of any of our South Central America trips.
Yeah.
What's he like, Bernadette? Is he an alpha male? Is he?
No, he's very chilled. He's quite up for a challenge if it comes up there, but he's not I wouldn't say he's alpha in that respect, but he's very easy in group dynamic, very sort of quite laid back, but you know, he's a good kid. I mean, I'm biased, but the general vibe is he's a good kid, so we've been lucky.
I get him to look at Colombia, because if he likes a challenge, in Colombia you've got the Lost City Trek.
Yeah.
Which is an extraordinary thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll get him to look at the web. I mean, I sort of showed him very, very briefly, I think it was yesterday, and his eyes were like, whoa. Because I think he's keen to take a year out, but also he doesn't want to, interesting what you were saying, he's not interested in drinking. He's not, he wants to do some things, and he's, we were having a sort of very honest conversation about, I'm not really into all of that. I just want to do stuff. So that's why I sort of think if it had that sort of variety, which the trips sound like, it would be a really good introduction to travel. And I think, he's done it. I mean, he's gone to Spain on his own before. He's just been traveling this in the half term, so he's competent around getting on a plane and all of that stuff. But it's that group dynamic I think would be really good for him.
Yes,
that's great. But also the midlifer thing sounds brilliant. So Karen, we better start saving and getting fit, hey? Good. Also, I have just an aside, Millie. My husband's a photographer, but he also has done lots of volunteering in Tanzania, and he was really interested in finding out a bit more about what your company does, and he asked me to ask if he could contact you just for a chat.
Of course.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Great.
About photos. Oh.
But well, he interestingly, he worked with Standing Voice, which is a charity which deals with kids with albinism in Tanzania, and he basically went out and volunteered doing teaching them photography, which was incredible. But he's sort of interested in just having a different avenue, trying different experiences. So I sort of told him about the leap, because I was like, oh, I found this I sort of like a revelation. I emailed Zoe and was like, Zoe, can I find out about it? And then he said, oh, I'd be interested to see what, have a chat with them and see what they do, if there was an opportunity, etc. So if you don't mind, that would be brilliant.
Love introductions. You never know where it goes.
Exactly. But thank you so much for your time. It's been really lovely. You're just gorgeous. Just really nice.
Thanks. I've been having a shocking week. Do you know?
Really?
Yes. Yesterday, I was just all over the place, and I crossed the road. This is a humiliating moment. There was the bus stop and all the kids from school, and I tripped and I flew in the road and landed literally in front of the bus.
Oh my God.
No.
And I have really hurt my knee, really hurt my shoulder, really hurt my hand.
Oh God! And
Really
the thing is, it
yourself.
takes that much longer to recover from those things, doesn't it? As you get older, it's like, oh, but
Makes me feel nice about myself. I could do a bit of mothering. I'd like
Yeah.
to. I'm feeling really sorry for myself. Really,
oh.
really
well,
hurt.
well, I'm not.
You
But
balance.
also, it's a
Yeah.
shock, isn't it, when you have a fall? It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, how embarrassing. So embarrassing. And these kids just like, are you all right? I was like,
Oh, that was sweet.
I don't know what to cry or laugh. I don't know what to do with myself,
Yeah.
but I just crawled off the road and kind of sat there thinking, that was a really bad moment.
Well,
Yeah.
thank God you were that you could get up and walk on, because
Yeah.
you never know, do you? It's awful. But
Thank God that bus didn't squish me. Anyway, there we go. Here to tell the story. Anyway, girls, so Karen, what is your surname so I can look it up and then email you?
Yeah, it's Ray, R-A-Y.
Okay. Okay.
brilliant.
So we've got your emails, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. But it's been lovely. Thank you. Lovely to meet you, Karen.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
And you.
And
Yeah.
get well, Millie.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Bye,
Take
lady.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, Jay, you've just joined.
Sorry, I'm trying to get off. I'm trying to work out how to do it.
No, you're still there in your green sitting room.
I know. I've got a very green sitting room.
I love that green. What is that green?
Yeah, it's called Gremlin Green.
Gremlin green.
Gremlin Green, yeah. I'm not quite sure how I'm getting off this, but bear with me. Just ignore me.
Jay, you've just joined. Can you hear me? Hello? Hi, Jay? Jay?
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Jay. You've just joined.
Yes, sorry, a little bit late.
No, it's fine. I can't see you. I'm just going to